गुरुर्ब्रह्मा स्वयं साक्षात् सेव्यो वन्द्यो मुमुक्षुभिः नो द्वेजनीय एवायम् तत्त्वज्ञेन विवेकिना
relief from the water became available for life. So life is starting, but at a later stage in the evolution of life on the earth, human race was expected to come. After the animal world, the plant world, so then the human race was expected to come. Then who should procreate? Well, all over the globe, the story of evolution tells us the barbarian was born, was moving naked in the cave, killing each other or killing all the animals and things like that. But the Creator had his own plan for a superior human race, which was the purpose of creation. What is superior? Somebody who could be procreated by certain individuals who knew the mind of the Creator, who had to take the initiative to create a human race which would satisfy the very intentions of Brahma, Creator. Which means they would have to follow the path designed for the mankind, which was the fulfillment of the purpose of creation. So Brahma created the wise men first. Wise men are not the end product of a long time of progress of civilization and all that. So bad wisdom and initiate without waste of time. He created great rishis or sages who knew his mind. So they are known as the Manasa Putras of Brahma. That is, somebody who knows the mind of the Brahma is Manasa Putra. Millions of souls are waiting to be evolved by being born on the earth repeatedly, traversing a long path of course from just materialism to pure spirituality. Such was the requirement of the time. He created 9 Brahmas, Nava Brahmas from his mind, and then Prajapatis, and then also some sages like Narada. Initially, the mind-born sons of Prajapatis of Brahma, they knew the purpose, they did not resist, but Narada, people like that, they resisted. We don't want to go back to the earth. We have enough of it in the past. Earth is a bondage. It's an open prison. We don't like to go. We will go into tapas that absorbs the ultimate. Someone said, no. Your own fulfillment for yourself in getting absorbed into the ultimate, it does not help the creation at all. What is your contribution to the creation? So to create, procreate. Progeny is important. Beget children, create thousands of sons and daughters. So that is how the Creator prescribed not nivritti but pravritti initially. Pravritti is indulgence in prakriti, taking the materialistic path of life, living, eating, enjoying the material pleasures of life, then begetting children, and all. Nivritti is avoiding all material contact with this world. Nivritti. Pravritti was meant to accommodate the millions of souls, allow them to take birth in this prakriti, nature, and then evolve over a number of reincarnations, but ultimately reach the ultimate after some wisdom dawns on their mind, then they would have developed a desire to get emancipated, which is called moksha. Moksha is release from bondage. So, millions of souls are not ready to ask for moksha. They would be born in the human body after going through the animal existence. So that's very purpose of creation. So pravritti was imposed on initiators of human race by Brahma. So after some time, the earth, which was fertile and waiting to sustain life, provide the living creatures with all that is necessary, the earth became populated over a time. The animals, the plants, the jokes. That is the story of the Aryan culture. Although on some other continents, the wildlife due to wild humans, and the process of getting civilized might have taken some thousands of years. But in the Aryavart, the Arya Bhumi, the very creator sent down to this place his own mind-born yogis, rishis, munis, prajapatis. So, in this sense, whether you accept it or not, there is a difference between the human race started living and occupying, populating India, and the human race that started populating the rest of the globe. So the Aryans grew into quite a large number as a society, got civilized. Civilization is constructing cities, ruling kingdoms, agriculture, etc. But then civilization is not the ultimate goal. So in a civilized world, a few great sages and rishis would impart the desire to emancipate, impart the path of dharma, and they would show they are the pathfinders. So it became a two-type system. There is a Siddhartha, a guru, a rishi, a jnani, and the willing people who follow their instructions. In the society that followed their path, we had the kings, the Brahmins, the agriculturists. So each soul was taking a series of births, and the moksha vidya, this Advaita path, Arya Dharma, Vedic Dharma, Veda Dharma, call it by any name, but that has come to stay in Arya. And then many things happen, many generations. But in this Kali era, we find that the people that matter, men that matter, the ruling class, the educated intellectuals, or the so-called Brahmin class, or the upper caste, whatever you may call them, the rich, the powerful, mighty, intelligent, brilliant, they are all migrating to material realms. They are rejecting the path of dharma or adharma, whatever it is, materialistic ambitions are ruling their minds. So that has reached a climax. About 25th century ago, Buddha was born. So the ancient path of renunciation, desire for moksha or emancipation, was very much there. Desire for moksha was very much there in many people. But predominantly the cream of society called the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas, they became indulgent in material pursuit. The kings were fighting against each other, seeking pleasure. The Brahmin was preoccupied with Vedic ritualism. Very few, 1 in 1,000 of the Brahmins, 1 in 10,000 Brahmins was seeking moksha through tapasya and yoga. That was there already. But what about the cream of society needed to be guided to take to the path of renunciation with the goal of moksha being achieved. So that kind of a scenario, Buddha said the original intention of the Creator and the ultimate goal of the human being are one and the same. So we have to divert their attention from materialism to spirituality, renunciation, and reaching the ultimate goal. So far as the Vedic path is concerned, it's already 10,000 years old. People are indulging in yajna, tatu and other things, propitiating God to reach the heaven. All these things must be put an end to. Only the ultimate path alone should be stopped. What is the path? The path renunciation. This path is not a new thing. Renunciation, tapas, these two are the prerequisites of the success in the path of reaching moksha. So he said, forget about the Vedic religions, Vedic karma, or the kind of yoga shastra that you may be following, or this or that. Nothing, there is no path. Straight away jump into the state of total disconnected condition with the world. Reject everything. You have no relation. Well, this is Upanishad religion only. Upanishads have already said this. But the followers were thinking of various paths and the methodologies of renunciation. Renounce everything. So he set an example for renouncing his own home. No matter whether the parents are going to be unhappy, the people who were waiting to be ruled by him were unhappy. The wife would be in distress. The son would be helpless. But these are all part of life. What would happen if I suddenly die in a war, in a battle? Just like that. So I am leaving for good. He left. So the age-old conflict between the pravritti and nivritti, material life path, and renunciation, rejecting the all material life. These two appear to be in opposite directions. Buddha said, whether all the millions of people living in Bharatvarsha are desirous of moksha or not, I am not bothered, but I will remind them that is the path. That is the ultimate goal. When I remind about 10,000 people, 1,000 people may take it. Out of the 1,000, at least 100 people may get the release. So, the ultimate purpose of creation and the purpose of human being walking on the earth have to be reminded to them. Minus the various Vedic paths that being followed by many people with mutually disagreeing and theories. Yes, thousands of people, by a million people might have followed him in his lifetime. But the question is how many achieved the ultimate goal. Still, Buddha's concept is nothing new. He reminded the ancient principle of seeking moksha through renunciation. The same old thing was brought back to the people, and their attention was drawn to the original secret of life. You know the Vedic path of ritualism, the system of caste, the responsibility of the Brahmins and Kshatriya, and the duties of the Shudra, are all a kind of an organized life, but perhaps somewhat sullied, corrupted, lost its purity. So he rejected, don't bother about the caste system, who is a Brahmin, who is not a Brahmin. Not the thing. Every soul needs to be redeemed and directly connected to the individual inside, the soul inside the man. So it appears to be very attractive because many people had that samskara in them. Samskara is a kind of a tendency to accept the ultimate path was already there in the people, but they were not shown the path, except for a few. Some easy path, a common path, where there is no one is higher and no one is lower. Without any differentiation in the status of a man on the path, it was a common path for all. So it happened that kings, queens, princesses, princes, householders, Brahmins, Kshatriyas, not anybody jumped into the. But over a time again, whatever that had happened to the Vedic religion has happened to the Buddhist path also. But it is a great milestone, no doubt. But earlier also, this conflict between a renunciation and following the path of a household life or material life, conflict has already been there. For example, I will tell you the story of Sukha Yogi, the son of Vedavyasa. Vedavyasa is a man, a great sage, jnani, who gave us the Brahma Sutras. Upanishads are all edited by him. Vedas were edited by him. They were all given to us. He was a jnani. But the moment his own son, Sukha Yogi, renounced and said, Dad, Father, I don't want to live in this material. I am leaving this quickly. As a father, he is right. How can my own son? Yes, I did show the path of moksha to one and all, but my son has to enter into the householder's place. But Sukha Yogi left the householder's status, or any attachment to the household life. He just walked away. Naked, he was not even bothered about whether he was dressed properly. Totally unconscious of the surrounding, the dismissal of the entire surrounding world as non-existent. Another story you have, a Brahmin whose name was SathGuru, was a jnani, Viragi. He took to the path of tapas for jnana. Then he became a realized soul also over a time. And then the message came from the main, that is the Pitru Devas, his great-grandfathers, fathers, who had left this world, who are waiting in the Sarga. They did not renounce the world. They were living in Sarga, And the Vedic path said, the progeny has to be continued. The family tree has to be continued. If it is suddenly discontinued, there is nobody to take care of those departed souls who are waiting to be reborn again, or who are waiting to be absorbed in the God. So that was the original principle of compelling people to live, was working in this way. So it was incumbent on somebody to take to a householder's life, marry, beget children, and do what he ought to do to redeem his debt to the departed souls, fathers and grandfathers, because of whom he is today living. So they was under compulsion. Many people said, no, you have to take to the householder's path. And he would not do. And some rishis who saw his progeny, his ancestors in the higher world, reported to him, oh, they are crying for him. They want you to enter into the householder's status. Then he did not know how to resist this. The path of the traditional path requires that yes, we should enter into the path. That's a tradition. Not a tradition does not apply to a man, to a soul which is in its ultimate state of getting their soul. So he thought he would impose a condition. All right, I'll do it, but on condition. What is that condition? I want a girl to be married to me, and she should have the same name as myself. My name is SathGuru. If there is a girl already born by this name, SathGuru, I will marry her. People thought that there could be no one by that name and he could escape. So, as destiny would have it, his own luck or ill luck would have it, there was already a girl born by that name in the Naga Jati. Yes, there is a girl, they said. They went round and said, advertised in the paper, found out that there is somebody by that name, and then, yes, here is a girl. And one more condition is, I will get married. At the moment that she conceives, I will quit this household. They agreed. So he married her, she became pregnant. He lost not a day in quitting the place. So, compulsion to enter into the prakritic life, pravritti life, in spite of a man not being interested in it at all. Sukha Yogi or SathGuru are two examples, wonderful examples. So this is an urgent path is pravritti margam. Pravritti margam is take to material life with a right attitude about dharma. Don't deviate from the path of righteousness and moral values. Go through the material life. Be done with it. We don't want you to hang on to material life, but no. But you cannot escape it. There is no shortcut. But the people are afraid that once he enters into the householder's life, material life, it sucks a man into it. Doesn't really it's like a crocodile. It's a dangerous thing. Out of fear they avoid it. The warning is, yes, today out of fear we are avoiding it. But who knows, a later stage, suddenly some temptation enters into your mind. You may see a beautiful dancer descending from the heavens, walking before you. Who knows? So there is, in the path of renunciation, there could be obstacles. Yes, there are no obstacles in the path of a householder's life, provided he follows the dharma. So go through it, leave it behind, then take to the path. Never to look back. So the most difficult thing is treading the path of dharma in material life. Every minute there is a test. People have their own samskaras, tendencies inherited from the previous life. And those tendencies would tempt him to live in various philosophies or activities, indulge in activities, pravritti and nivritti. Man may be oscillating between pravritti and nivritti, materialism and renunciation. This is the path. So we have to look at Buddha as one who had reached his own limit of existences after maybe for 454 births or whatever. He himself had his own travels also in all the earlier months. Now he was coming here, he came here only to quit forever. Which is why he had to take the path of not renunciation, but householder's life as a prince, as a husband, as a son, as a father. All these roles he had to accept. But then the tendency was so strong that he left them or without waiting for their sanctions. He had to quit. But that path that was applicable to him, which made him reach the ultimate, is very clearly said to be 454th birth or whatever. Others are not ready with the like him. So, but teaching and preaching the same path to one and all, to whom does it work? To those who had already reached their ultimate. But to the others, they are now placed on the path. Now, today they would practice renunciation. His personality, his teaching, his preaching, his way of life inspired them. So there was no guru that could inspire this seeker. There may be teachers and preachers, but not true spiritual guru who would pull the man out of his material living standards. He was one. He was unique in his approach to the problem, and the great magnetic force that attracted people by the thousand to him was unique. Many might have taken to his path. Yes, whatever person we don't know, we should not calculate the percentage of those who have been redeemed. Some of them might have reached the ultimate goal. That included the Brahmins, the princes, the criminals also. So, a force that inspired people to reject material life, to renounce and take the path of renunciation to reach the same old argent gold was again brought forth into the new age to people who had forgotten their original purpose of living. The purpose of the God with which he had created is the purpose of the man in his own personal life. It is God's intention that is being fulfilled by somebody who renounces and takes to the path of realization and path of moksha. But again, you don't have a man like Buddha who had himself thousands or lakhs of people who could draw into his net the prince and the pauper alike, man and woman alike, youth and old alike, the Brahmin and Kshatriya alike. No such. So maybe Buddha was succeeded by many great yogis in Buddhism. But that way there are yogis and great sages in Hinduism and the Protein Vedic path also. Even today you will find millions of people following gurus. They might be preaching the moksha, vidya, or preaching renunciation. But are they setting an example? Are they able to inspire? $1 million question. Maybe that is why I would always say there's no need to suspect the bona fides of the disciple. Any doubt has to be cast only on the disciple is honest, which is why he is in such a thing. There can't be any suspicion about it. Unless he strongly desires to seek a guru for moksha, why should he go? He could have been living a material life. So there is all time definite sincerity in the mind of the disciple. But how far is able to get the right kind of a guru that suits him in his path? That's a big question. I always say, no suspicion, there is no way of suspecting the disciple. And no, let us not say that we are going to suspect the gurus. Depends on the destiny of the Shishas. Ultimately, they would have some summers of bad experience, good experience. They with one ashram and reach another ashram. They go on hopping here and there. Ultimately, after the karma is washed, they would find the right guru, whereas the only ultimate guru is God. So, these 25 centuries, Buddhism receded largely and also got split into many paths, sub-paths, and spread out into the other countries. How much of the original Buddha is alive in these parts is a question. Chinese Buddhism, Japanese Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism, East Asian Buddhism, Indian Buddhism, this, that. How much of the original personality of God, that is Buddha, is alive in those parts is a matter different. That is different. It varies from man to man, country to country, language to language. For example, a Buddhist is a pure Ahimsavadi, which means he should not even touch the non-vegetarian food. But there are pure non-vegetarians in Buddhism in many countries. They don't touch vegetarian. That's what I mean by pure non-vegetarian. So these things are happening. What can you do? But you, as a path, as an identity, I am a Buddhist, you would say. So maybe in being born as a Buddhist or entering to the Buddhism in this world may still be a milestone in its progress in a really renounce the word in it. That's what this particular milestone would not be a base in this long journey to the ultimate. So there has been a conflict started with the Brahma and his own sons, Pravritti and Nivritti. God wanting them to take to Pravritti, and his sons wanted to get away from the material. The story of two instances we have seen, Shukayogi or Jaratkaru. So the moment Jaratkaru married that girl, known as Haridan Jarat, her name was also Jaratkaru. Well, it is said, I don't know, it is said that the Pitruloka, his ancestors who are waiting in the Pitruloka, got redeemed and they went up to Brahmaloka. Perhaps he redeemed the death of those people which they did not redeem while they lived on the earth. That is Pranabhimukti. Every soul is indebted. We come to this world to repay our debts, not to collect our dues. That's the right attitude. But renunciation is a very risky path. It is risky in the sense somebody may say, I have no desires, I have already renounced it. Maybe he is deluding. And sometimes he looks back, falls from that state, gets back into temptations of life. That is worse than a normal materialistic life. It is a fall, whereas a normal human life, of material life, is not a fall, it is natural. So which is why somebody asked me, I don't want to get married, but as a small teacher, as a very small school teacher, I would say, get married. There may be some temptation hidden in your deep depths of your heart. Better to get married, get out. Or if you can find another sadhak woman of pure nature, get married, both of you can work in the path of renunciation. We will be supporting each other. ఇలాంటివి చెప్తూ ఉంటాను. ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నానంటే clash between renunciation and tendency to renounce. There are two things. There is a tendency to renounce in many people, but that is not renunciation. Renunciation is an actual act. The most terrific way in which Buddha worked out. That is, yes, many people have this tendency to renounce is one thing. The ability to make up one's mind, cut the threads of bondage without a second thought. Seemingly live in a material life, absolute non-attachment at the heart. That is an ideal that is yet to be found in people. There are facts of life. Something or other, like a call of duty to material life. People say, oh, it's my responsibility, my duty to settle this, to settle that. But at the same time, somebody's responsibility unto oneself, towards himself. That is the greatest cause, the most powerful cause. It's expected to be most powerful as they talk to be. Other calls for duty don't count. They don't matter. So they are not listened to. రియల్ డ్యూటీ మనిషిని తన ఆత్మోత్తరణ కోసం చేయవలసినటువంటి బాధ్యతలు అనుకుంది కానీ ఆ బాధ్యత అలా పక్కన స్పెండింగ్ లో పెట్టి ముందు ఈ బాధ్యత తీసుకోవడం కాదు. దీనికి ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఇవ్వకూడదు, తన పని తను చూసుకోవాలి అని అది శాస్త్రం పెద్దలు అలా చెప్పారు. అలా ఉన్నవాడు రీచ్ అయ్యారు. ఆఫ్టర్ దిస్ ఆఫ్టర్ కాదు, రైట్ నౌ తదహం ప్రపంచే. After renunciation, it crosses your mind one by one, they do it as it is. Don't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow the planetary motion may change. In connection with the Buddha's story, we have examined the background of Aryan history and tradition.
Buddha was only relevant to the time that he was born, and his sister actually delivered goods. So, in what way was he speaking to relevant even today?
It was a product of the times because people, as I said, they were more addicted, attached to the path of karma, whereas they ought to have been reminded that that was not important for them. They ought to take to tapasya, jnana marga. So he reminded them. It was a great necessary teaching to the Aryans of Samaj, Arya Samaj, the Hindu society. But today, you know how much of impact the Buddhism has on people, what the kind of life Buddhists are living. Or for that matter, what the kind of life the Brahmin is living in Hinduism. So there is a decline of the core values on the entire humanity, every section of humanity. And ahimsa, renunciation. You see, the institutionalization has affected the purity of the path. Buddha did not start Buddhism. His followers of Buddha, they established Buddhism. He did not institutionalize anything. Maybe he asked for a resort, a garden in which you would sit and preach. But he was not attached to it. He did not say, start this, start that institution or a college. No. Everything institutes like Nalanda and others. Not there. Whereas Jesus Christ, Christianity, Prophet Muhammad, Islam are specifically started with instruction. Boom. Buddha, a man of total renunciation, would not be willing to start an institution. He himself was an institution, and his thoughts formed into a society. So Sadhanga, the Saranam Gacchami, Sangam is not Buddhist society. The people who have renounced their path are Bhikshu Sangam. So Bhikshu and Bhikshuki, mendicants, with the begging bowls are walking. To that Sadham Saranam Gacchami. Not any Buddhist monastery or institution or a group of society, no. Dharma, Dharma, Buddham Saranam. What is Buddha's path is method. And I will also offer my reference to the followers of Buddha. That is my concept. Everything takes a the shape of an institution is human society, and we call it civilization. When the civilization did not take the present shape in Ramayana times or in Mahabharata times, was there an institution around any great sage? Was there a society? No. They had disciples. The disciples followed the individuals. That's all about it. It's a parampara. There is no institution. This is the modernity of human civilization, which is responsible for the institutionalization. Today anything is an institution. Suppose I say I am a Bhagavan. I started to register my institution, start constructing huge buildings, recruit people, tax, funds. There can't be a Brahmacharya Samadhi registered. Okay. Adding more problems to being people, అవసరమే ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ అవసరమే మీరు అనుకున్న పని నెరవేరాలంటే leave it to the God, who is the creator, who is the redeemer, who is the source of inspiration, strength to renounce, and who is the savior. Leave it to him. There should be a particular authority to start it. There is no problem. You are a part of the Salve,